everyone at Vega411. Thank you for watching our new episode. I'm so excited because we have a great show. So a couple of weeks ago, we did film on the set of Vega411 with my guest, Alan Berman. But unfortunately, we had some technical difficulties on our end with the whole audio situation. So what we decided to do was we decided to get Alan Berman to do a Zoom conference call with me, and we discussed everything from his 30 to 35 plus career on his acting and so much more. I mean, from movies, from TV to syndicated shows, commercials, my faves, soap operas, and more, working with many, many, many famous actors on set. And he's here with me talking about it on his experience on Zoom, especially his time working with me on my first ever short film directed, Room 702. So let's roll the tape and tune in to Alan Berman. We got Alan Berman in the Zoom meeting today on Vega 411. Hello, Alan.
Hello, Jesse.
It's good seeing you.
Good to see you as always.
It's been a while since we've worked on, Room 702, and I said, let me just get you on the show so I can interview you about your career attributes. Been in this business for 30 to 35 years. So my first question I want to ask you right off the bat, can you tell me how different was the industry back then, 30 years ago, versus someone who's just trying to be an actor now?
Completely different. Well, some things are the same. The things that are still the same is that the people that make it most easily and faster are people who are very young, very good looking, very well connected to the industry. And people are willing to take a chance on those people, or someone who's created a name for themselves, like a stand-up comic. That's how you got in. I saw a lot of talented people never make it anywhere, and I saw a lot of untalented people do very well. So it was really, I believe, either you fit in one of those categories or it was a total crapshoot.
Now, it took you a long time. You've been in the business and being into different movies and guest appearances. Can you tell people about some of the highlights that you can recall that really touched your heart? I mean, if you could name a few.
Well, I did some when I started out. When I got my SAG or after card, I did some little stints on Saturday Night Live a bunch
Oh,
of times.
wow.
I'm not sure we talked about that. And then I got to be the valiant waiter on All My Children. And then I did some modeling, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah, for Brenda's ski world called Descent. I think they still exist. And I got the gig because I had a good ass, supposedly. Because you wear the ski wear, when you wear it, you're naked. At least for the modeling show, you're actually naked underneath. They want to see your body. And then after that, I made enough money, so I went out to LA for pilot season to see how things might go. And I mean, the amount of work and the stuff that is available in LA, it's still a lot more than New York, but it's here where you were begging to get an audition, there you could have the shittiest agent. And the first week I was there, I was on a lot of MGM. Well, it wasn't really MGM, it's Sony Pictures.
Did it take you a long time to get an agent while you was in the business? At what age did you finally get your agent?
So I had mostly managers most of the time. And in LA, I had some agents working for me. But actually in LA, any work I got was that which I made or created on my own, because I got into casting and I met the producers and I met Aaron Spelling, Joel Schumacher, and all the big. And they actually put me on some of their shows, things that I couldn't even get to, on my own. And I remember Joel Schumacher. We were sitting in a reading one day with interviewing all these beautiful boys for some show that he was doing, and they were terrible actors. And he looked at me and he says, "Wow, how you must feel seeing these great looking people with great agents and they can't act, and here you are, here you are, you're not even working and you're so talented. So he put me as a recurring role on the show 2000 Malibu Road, but it got canceled for a whole other reasons. It was actually number one in the ratings. But the real time I got a real agent was what's happened to me here in the last 6 months. Back to your original question of how has the industry changed. So today, yes, it still applies if you're young, beautiful, your last name is Baldwin or whatever. It's easier and people will take a chance on you. But today, it's all about your media.
Yes, it is.
Okay?
The content you're putting out.
Your pictures, your actors' access, and your reels, whether they're real or existing or something you create on your own. And I joined this marketing class in October, which I finished beginning of January. By mid-February, I have an extremely good agency that I'm signed with for the first time in all these years as an actor, who I'm now auditioning for lead parts and supporting parts in television.
That's good, Alan.
And film. Yes, and I was never able to do this on my own. Well, there's a whole other story, but we'll get there.
Yeah. But with you getting into all of that, like, what was the advice that you've learned that someone gave you to get you to the point that you're in now?
You have to have perfect pictures. You have to have great demo reel, whether it exists from stuff you've done, or whether you go to one of these companies called RealArc and help you create a list. And you have to blast agents only after your media is perfect.
Right, of course.
And then once you have the agents, or you actually start, the biggest thing is meeting casting directors. So what clinched it for me with my agent, I kept writing to her for 8 weeks. And in the last email I showed her, I've auditioned for about 20 some agents who knew my work and knew me well. And that was the last straw that I think, in my persistence, that she finally returned my email and said, "Oh my God, we need to represent you."
Well, that's good. I mean, I feel like being persistent and being consistent on your work, and also hitting up all the emails from the agents and casting directors, because sometimes they have so many different people on their roster that there's so many different talented people from the West Coast and East Coast that the best thing you can do is just keep on submitting, keep on submitting, keep on submitting. And I think you've been doing that for so long, and even being your own management agent, because you also started to submit for some independent projects like myself on Room 702. So we're gonna take a little bit of a break, and we're gonna talk about your appearance on Room 702 as Mr. Winston.
Okay, great.
Oh God, I'm really getting goosebumps really talking about this segment on this movie that's really coming out on October 13, 2023, and it's called The Exorcist: The Believer.
Good day. Hey, be home by dinner.
I love you. Good morning, Mr. Fielding.
Morning, Catherine.
And here are your daughters, Angela and Catherine. It's about 7 hours ago, and that's the last information we have.
Hey, you found her? What are you and Catherine doing out there in those woods?
We were just walking and walking. That's all I remember.
Angela, can you tell your dad how long you were gone?
A few hours.
Baby, you've been gone 3 days.
Body in the blood? Body in the blood?
Catherine.
Body in the blood. The body in the blood. The body and the blood.
Catherine!
The body and the blood. The body and the blood.
Have you ever seen anything like this?
Mommy?
No, but there are people out there who have.
You have some experience with possession.
Yes, more than I'd like.
Be scared,
We've met before.
Mother.
What did you do?
Is that Catherine's heartbeat? They're beating in sync.
God played a trick on you.
Now, I've seen a lot of trailers with demonic possessions and exorcisms and spirits and all that with the supernatural, but this movie right here is scaring the lights out of me, and I'm terrified. But listen, I'm really intrigued to watch this because I really want to know where it's gonna go and what the mother's gonna do to stop this possession with these two girls. Well, The Exorcist the Believer is out on October 13, 2023. Make sure you watch it wherever movies are selling it. Let's get back to our scheduled programming.
So then the people in the hotel heard all the commotion, and then they came down and saw both owners dead in room 702.
Is this the same room that people have been claiming to see this woman?
Yeah, we've had to keep it closed off from future guests because she continues to haunt it. To this day, Sammy, known as the Pale Rider, continues to stay, refuses to leave because she's still in mourning.
Mr. Winston, I want to rent this room.
Oh, but Detective, I don't think that's a very good idea. The room has been closed off for years.
Put it on my tab. I'll pay you.
But Detective, it's not safe.
Trust me, I'll be okay. I need
Detective.
to stop her.
Okay.
So we got Alan Berman. So Alan, because you've been now running your own show and being your own boss on submitting to projects, non-union, union, independent, summer productions, whatever the case may be, you stumbled onto this little, I would say, independent project, a crime thriller called Room 702. What happened during that time and what you was doing that inspired you to say, you know what, I'm going to submit for this role, Mr. Winston?
Well, weren't we in the middle of COVID?
Yeah, we were.
So, I'd been locked up in my house, number one. And number two, I own an architecture firm, which I've owned for years. And that was at the point of time where I decided to get back into acting again. Wow, a lot has changed in 2 years. So I think for about a year and a half, I submitted to SAG or independent stuff. And yours was one of the first of probably about 16, 18 projects. Literally at least one a month for that year and a half, just to get my acting chops down again until I jumped to the next level where I am now. So it was a fun little project, and I appreciated being on set and the fun script. And I learned that I wasn't nervous anymore. In the old days, I always got nervous. I don't get nervous now.
I made you feel comfortable.
You did. You did. It was a very comfortable group. That's the other thing I was going to say about acting today. I would get nervous going in auditions, but today, since most of the auditions are on tape, I don't get nervous. A lot of people don't like it, but I love it. And I'm booking more than ever because I'm not nervous, and you can get to redo your auditions.
Yes, you can.
Numerous times till you send in the one that you like the best.
Do you know anybody who runs a hotel room like Mr. Winston that made you channel it very well?
I don't, but I'm very interested in ghosts and whatever, and haunted houses. Whenever I travel, I look for where the haunted castles are and things, and I've always wanted to meet a ghost. So I was in a film called The Amityville Horror where I had a few lines, and I never
in the 70s, the 60s or 70s. That one?
No, this was in the 80s. It was Amityville Horror number 5.
Oh,
and it was ghostly because a entity took over my truck where I was delivering diapers. It was the diaper salesman, and an entity took over my truck and made a crash, and I killed one of the leads in the movie. So I've always been interested in the supernatural. So that was a fun, interesting aspect about your
at least it worked. It worked out. It worked for you because you got to be in one of mine for something that was and something very interesting. I would, if you was not nervous, I'm glad, because I was nervous. I was working with, people who has been in the industry longer than I have. I mean, I've been doing it for only 18 years, and you know, Donna and you have been around for a while. So I was like, you know, let me be my best behavior. Let me be as professional as possible, you know, be myself and make them feel comfortable. And you guys made me feel very at ease. It was a lot of stress with other things that was going on, but I'm glad that I made you guys feel at home to be more fluid with everything. So, and we had a good time.
We
And
did.
yeah.
You were very attentive. It was a friendly set. It was a nice set. I didn't feel any tension. Of course, you had many hats on your head that day,
Yeah.
so you must have. But no, it was a very easy, nice, fun experience. And the lead actress was what was her name again?
Donna Gleasoner.
Donna was so talented and so professional. So it was a pleasure.
Want to see more of Vega411? Just go to www.youtube.com/Vega411 What's Going On and catch up on all the latest past episodes from special guests,
Struggling musician too. They know what it was to be poor. They know what it was to have and not have.
live performances,
You want me to give up, but I don't give a fuck. Baby, break a sweat, break a sweat. Baby, break a sweat. Don't get tired yet. I could fall in love with you.
and so much more. Vega411 is available on all social sites. Follow right below. Well, before we go, can you tell everybody how can they find you and what is coming for you in the further, Alan?
Sure, you can find me on IMDb as Alan Berman, just typed in as that. Or I actually have a website, alanberman.com. I just shot a part in a Mickey Rourke, Harvey Keitel movie last month. I'm shooting a short film next week called Wake or Awoke. It'll be on my IMDb soon. And I'm out there auditioning my ass. Even during the strike, I'm getting all these waiver films that are Screen Actors Guild films that my agents on both coasts are getting me auditions for, and because they have a waiver because they're not part of that group of whatever. So things are cooking. Look out on my website or look out on me on IMDb, and I'm just rocking it with auditions and right and left. So hopefully more and better to come.
And more will. And that's the best thing about being an actor. There is no expiration date. You can be acting to your 90, or you can even be at 60 and finally have your big break. You just never know.
Hello.
You see? I love it. I love it. And this is Vega411 with Alan Berman.